Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Audio test, testing 1, 2, 3. Council Audio, we do have a connection. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. For today, Friday, November 18th, 2022, we have a very special day today, recognition of our Clean LA graduates, Wave 2. So congratulations to those individuals that are on the line. We will get to you in a short couple of minutes. We are planning to start the meeting by 10:10 at the latest in the next 9 minutes or so. Just real quick for the presenters for today's item number 1, Nora Malhias. Nora, good morning to you. I see that your hand is raised. You should receive that invitation to join us as a panelist for item number 1, and I believe Shun Yu Chang will be joining you as well. Shun, you should receive that invitation as well.
Good morning, Fernando. Thank you.
Hey, Nora, good morning to you. I'm trying to send an invitation to Shun, and I think it went through. Yes. So that's for item number 1. Item number 2, Steve Fierce, Ohaji, Abdullah, and David Wong. Good morning, Steve. Steven, sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. I do not see Ohaji on the line. Are you okay to take the lead on this?
Yeah, I'm fine. He should be joining, but that's fine.
Ohaji. Oh, you know, I see him now.
Okay.
Perfect. Oh. Ohaji, I'm trying to get to your name. I'm just trying to send you that invitation. There he is. And David Wong, correct? Don't see David on the line. Okay, Stephen, I don't see David on the line, but as soon as I do see...
I don't think David will be joining.
Okay, so then you're good then.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Item number 3, we have Larry Hsu and Curtis Tran. Good morning to you both. Curtis, you should receive that invitation to join us in a few seconds. And then Larry.
Good morning, Dr. Campo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I don't see Larry.
No, Larry is not going to be in today. I'll be the one who do the voice stat report, please.
Okay, perfect. Then you're all set then for item number 3.
Thank you.
Item number 4, we have Miller Show or Zoo. Miller, good morning to you. And Miller, I apologize for mispronouncing your last name. Once you get on, if you can just correct me on pronunciation, that would be great. So that's for item number 4. Hi, good morning, Miller.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Fernando. You almost had it's a silent U. It's Miller Zoe.
Zoe, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Glad you made it and glad that you received the invitation as well. Item number 5, we'll move on to Arsen Vaskirchian and Winnie Lamb. Not see Arsen, but I believe I do see Winnie. Winnie, when you receive the invitation, hi Winnie, is Arsen going to join you today for item number 5, or can you take the lead? Hi Winnie, if you're trying to speak, I can't hear you, but I'm just asking, is Arsen going to join you for item number 5?
No, he's not. It's just me today.
Okay. Perfect, let me scratch his name out. Perfect, thank you. We'll move on to item number 6. No presenter on item number 6 required. Item number 7, we have Paul Roch presenting on the Office of Community Beautification. Paul Paul, good morning to you. You should receive that invitation to join us as a panelist. And that's for item number 7. Item number 8, Jorge Garcia. Jorge Garcia, if you're on the line, if you can please raise your hand so that I can quickly identify that you're on the line. I'm not sure if you're 376638. Again, this is for item number 8, Jorge Garcia. Okay, we will try to come back for item number 8 for Jorge Garcia this time. We'll move on to Bureau representatives that are on the line. Should the board have any questions for you, at that time we will open up the audio lines for you. Again, this is for Seffi Wiles, Edward Arrington, Khalil Carrios, Sunil Rajpal. Again, if the board has any questions for you at that time, we will open up the audio lines. Sunil, I know you have your hand raised, and I believe that should answer your question. You can lower your hand if that does. If it doesn't, keep your hand raised and I'll get back to you. Thank you. Mr. Jordan, I'm also sending you invitations to join us as a panelist. If you can please accept the invitation, that should allow you to join the panel. Thank you. Commissioner Corzan, the same thing to you. I'm sending you a new invitation to join us as a panelist. This time I'm going to move forward and allow those that we are recognizing today's special celebration of the Clean LA graduates. If you are a graduate from the Clean LA program or a representative from one of the 3 community-based organizations, if you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9, or you can click the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application. Again, this is for Richard Fishman, Wayne Keith Mahone, Marvin Nance, Carrington Hall, Edward McKnight, Delbert Richardson, Vincent Gordon, Ronald Backus, Ivan Escobedo, Armin Aganyan, Ramon Cottle. If you can please raise your hand, I will go ahead and quickly add you to the panel in recognition of your ceremony that will occur in about 2-3 minutes. Again, also if you are with one of our community-based organizations, CRCD, KYCC, and NEGB, if you can please raise your hand, I will quickly add you as a panelist at this time. Again, just keep raising your hand, or if you're joining us through the landline, you can click *9 and that will raise your hand and I will add you to the panel. Again, we are trying to start in the next 2 minutes. I will start adding those individuals as panelists. Devin Satorsky, I'm also sending you an invitation, and Kevin Gresham, I'm also sending you an invitation to join us as a panelist. You should receive that invitation shortly. I believe everyone that has raised their hand to participate in today's Clean LA graduation ceremony has raised their hand, but just in case I've missed anyone, last call, if you can please raise your hand by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon through the Zoom application. For those fellow graduates from the Clean LA program, Richard Fishman, Wayne Keith Mahone, Marvin Nance, Carrington Hall, Edward McKnight, Delbert Richardson, Vincent Gordon, Ronald Backus, Ivan Escobedo, Armin Aganyan, and Ramon Cottle. Thank you all for being here. And if you have not raised your hand or if you're not as a panelist, please let me know by pressing *9 or click or raise your hand at this time. I'll make sure to add you as a panelist. For our partners with our community-based organization, CRCD, thank you all for being here. Mark Wilson, Joe Gamez, Daniel Negrete, and Nora Cabrera. Thank you so much for joining us. From KYCC, I have Albert Rodriguez and Alberto Soria. And from NEGB, I have Rogelio Flores and Veronica Soto. If I missed you and you're not as a panelist, please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon, and I will make sure to add you as a panelist as soon as possible. Seeing no other hands raised, it is 10:11. I'm going to identify any callers on the line at this time that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon. Again, this is for members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application. I see 3 hands raised. We'll go ahead and identify the first caller. Hi, Dr. Williams. Good morning to you. Which items would you like to speak on?
Hi, general public comment 5 and 7.
Perfect. General public comment 5 and 7. Thank you. And we should get started in the next minute or two. We'll move on to the next caller, Glenn Bailey. Good morning, Glenn. If you can please unmute your microphone at this time, please let me know which items you'd like to speak on.
Good morning, Dr. Campos. General public comment and item number 1.
Perfect. And we should get started in the next couple of minutes. We do have a special recognition today, so it may take about 30 minutes or so before we get to item number 1. Thank you for joining us, Glenn. We'll move on to the next caller that has raised their hand. Caller ending in 183. Caller ending in 183. If you can please unmute your microphone at this time by pressing *6. Please state your name and which item you'd like to speak on. Hi, caller ending in 183. Caller ending in 183. If you can please unmute your microphone by pressing *6 at this time. Please state your name and which item you'd like to speak on.
My name is Nikki Alvarado, and I'd like to comment on item number 1.
Thank you, Nikki, for joining us this morning. We do have a special recognition this morning, a ceremony for our Clean LA graduates. We should get to item number 1 in about 30 minutes or so. I do want to say thank you for joining us, and if you can, and appreciate your patience. And I believe we have one last person that has raised their hand, Patricia Bates. Good morning, Patricia. If you can please let me know which items you'd like to speak on.
Good morning. I'd like to speak on item number 1.
Great. Thank you so much. And as mentioned earlier, we do have a special recognition today, celebration for our Clean LA graduates. We should be able to get to item number 1 in about 30 minutes. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us. At this time, we're going to move forward and test the video and audio equipment for our commissioners. I believe we have all our participants for our ceremony and all our presenters are on the line as well. Good morning, commissioners, to you, and apologies for being a little behind schedule. It's 10:14. You can turn on your video cam. I will go ahead and spotlight you for everyone. And I see
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Vice President Villegas first. So yeah, good morning to you. Let me find. Commissioner Reyes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning. Commissioner Corzan, good morning to you.
Morning.
I saw President Garcia. Oh, I see Dr. Davis on the line. Let me go ahead and spotlight him. Good morning to you, Dr. Davis.
Good morning, Dr. Campos.
And I will change your name right now.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
President Garcia, good morning to you.
Morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Madam President.
Good morning.
Sir, how are you?
President Garcia, all commissioners are on the line, all presenters are on the line, all graduates are on the line, along with our partners from our community-based organization are on the line, and we can get started when you are ready, and I apologize for being about 5 minutes behind schedule.
I'm ready.
Perfect. You are now in record mode. You are on mute, though.
That was a run through. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, November 18, 2022. Dr. Campos?
Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Establishing roll call and quorum for today, we have President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Corzan and Reyes. President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. My apologies, my phone is ringing and I am in City Hall in my office. President Garcia, at this time, we currently have 2 callers on the line under general public comment. We have no commentary from the Neighborhood Council comment section. And we also have speakers on the line for item number 1. We have 3 speakers for item number 1. We have 1 speaker for item number 5 and 1 speaker for item number 7. Again, 2 speakers for general public comment, 3 speakers for item number 1, 1 speaker for item number 5, and 1 speaker for item number 7. In addition to that, President Garcia, we are joined by our General Counsel, Mr. Ted Jordan, who's on the line as well.
Thank you very much. Dr. Campos, I know you said we have public comment. Let's take public comment now.
Absolutely, yes. We do have 2 callers on the line at this time. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. The Board of Public Works is considering general public comment. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this segment. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Dr. Tom Williams, President of Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community. Just a simple one, street lighting. I have submitted requests for redoing the street light in front of our house, which has been out now for over 3 weeks. And people say, oh, it can't be done, can't be done, can't be done. There's something wrong. But nobody will commit to doing anything to fix the street light. Then at another neighborhood council, I encountered the same comments by several other people of long delays in getting streetlights redone or turned back on. So it's been 3 weeks for my street light on the opposite side of the street, and they say it's done, it's done, it's done, but it doesn't come back on at night. So we're quite concerned regarding maintenance of city property and the usefulness of such. On our street, if there is an accident due to lack of lighting, it could indicate some liability on the part of the Department of Public Works for not maintaining the street lighting, especially when it's been pointed out by many people. So I would highly recommend getting a log from 311 as to street lights and or the Bureau of Street Services or lighting to resolve the issue and get the lights turned back on. The pole is there, the light is there, the solar panel is there, but there's no light. So please do have somebody do something in street lighting, and if not,
Thank you, Dr. Williams, your time is up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Williams, for muting your microphone. We'll go on to the next speaker, Glenn Bailey, Hi, good morning, Glenn. If you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works is considering general public comment. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this segment. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Glenn Bailey. By way of identification, I am a member of the Encino Neighborhood Council, as well as president of the Northridge East Neighborhood Council. And I'm also one of the Neighborhood Council budget advocates, and I'm also involved with the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils and the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council Coalition. I am speaking under general public comment, and let me just say I am, that's right, affiliation purposes only. I am speaking as an individual. I wanted to speak about notification of neighborhood councils. I realize you have, you meet frequently, you have a number of things on your agenda, but I'm asking that you please treat the neighborhood councils the same as you treat the other city departments and city bureaus. If there is an item that is site specific, in other words, it's not a citywide issue, but rather something that's located at a specific location in one or more neighborhood councils, that they be specifically notified. It won't cost anything to send an email. It will take some staff time. I think it's the courteous thing to do, same consideration that you do for your bureaus when they have something on the agenda. Obviously, the sooner we know, the sooner we might be able to agendize and weigh in as a neighborhood council, but at the very least, just at least knowing about it so that we can at least listen in at the meeting. You know, neighborhood council board members, we all receive hundreds and hundreds of emails because, you know, there's 40 plus city departments. There's lots of things that, you know, we deal with, all sorts of subjects, that a whole range of things that like the city council and the mayor deal with, we deal with on a hyper local basis. And so I'm making this request to help us all better govern and better engage our stakeholders and represent our stakeholders. And so, you know, we don't have the capacity to look at every single agenda of all the city departments. And so I appreciate your assistance with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. President Garcia, that does clear the queue for general public comment.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you to all the public speakers. Public comment is now officially closed. Moving on to the first item of today's business, which is the approval of the minutes of Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward and forthwith?
I'll second that.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by VP Villegas to move the approval of the minutes forward and forthwith.
So we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for that, everyone. Well, good morning and happy Friday. I'm very excited today to be here again one more time, bringing the Clean LA graduates to our board and exemplifying what they've done throughout the whole year and how they helped us clean and basically maintain our streets out in the city to a degree that's you know, that they are able to pick up the trash and debris and so forth. The Clean LA graduation is really special. As all of you know, we contract with our community partners to hire community members to do public right-of-way cleanups. Once they've completed their 12-month experience, the board testifies them and brings them to board to graduate. We have been very fortunate this time around to be able to open a pathway. So we're excited for many of our graduates today that they will start their transition or their pathway into city employment. And we intend to grow this. We have this we are currently hiring, by the way, a Clean LA program, and and also River Rangers program. I shouldn't forget that one as well. And we're excited to be able to provide this type of service. So with that said, Dr. Campos, do you want me to turn it over to you?
Sure. Let me go ahead and just spotlight myself along with some of the individuals that we're going to spotlight today as well.
Okay.
With the CRCD team, we do have 11 graduates today, this morning, that are joining us. We're going to start with the Community Coalition for Responsible Community Development. CRCD is the acronym we refer to with our community-based organization. So I do see some that are already with their video cams on. If you are with CRCD, if you can please make sure you have your video turned on, I will make sure that I will spotlight you at this time, as well as the partners with CRCD. If you're on the line, if you can turn on your video cam, that would be great, and I will go ahead and spotlight you. I believe that's what we have right now. And I will also spotlight Paul and Kevin, Devin as well. Perfect. Good morning, commissioners, President Garcia and commissioners, and fellow graduates from the Clean LA program. Today is a special day, and today is a great day to recognize the men and women that are joining us through the Clean LA program. The Clean LA program was launched a little over a year ago. It's a concept that we've been working on within the city family to create a career transition for many Angelenos. And today's ceremony is the second wave of graduates. We anticipate to graduate about 110 or so graduates. The 11 that are before your board today are those individuals that have completed the requirements and have performed their duties over the last 1 year. The Clean LA program is really meant to focus on not only creating that career opportunity, but also providing on-the-job training to our graduates through cleaning services and maintenance services in the public right-of-way. So besides the benefit of cleaning Los Angeles and making it a great city to live in, the participants in the program also learn really critical skills, life skills, to get them through a career, and also transitioning them into a career within the city family as well, or sometimes even at full-time employment with other organizations. The graduates that you're going to meet today and also recognize today have met a series of requirements through the Clean LA program. One of them is that they have to have at least 1 year of working experience within the Clean LA program. All these graduates have met that 1 year requirement. In addition to that, the graduates have to complete a certificated program with City 101 training. City 101 training provides the graduates not only what it requires to apply for a job, but also getting ready for the job. So job readiness training as well, and just learning about the city of Los Angeles and the process and the type of positions that are available for the graduates out there. Recently, we are moving into a virtual platform for training. These graduates were in person and also through the virtual platform. We are also creating video training for graduates to actually take the training on their own time, as opposed to taking it as a traditional classroom or as a cohort. And so that's one of the improvements that we're making through the Clean LA program. But all of them have taken City 101 training. All of them have gone through job readiness training. All of them have been provided opportunities to build a resume, fill out a city application, and start the transition into full-time employment with hopefully better benefits and also higher wages as well. So once they complete the City 101 training, the graduates also have to complete the graduates are evaluated based on their performance by the community-based organizations. We have 3 that are being recognized today or participating with us today. So CRCD is just one of the 3 community-based organizations. We also verify that they have at least completed 1,920 hours of work time experience. So they're actually on the job, outside, gaining that skill set necessary to graduate from the program. And then individuals are also required to participate in this ceremony today, which is before you, and then also complete a city application so that we can start evaluating their performance and also their eligibility to transition into city employment or full-time employment elsewhere. And that's something that has been very monumental and very transformative with this program. So it's not only about cleaning the public right away, it's not only about creating jobs, but it's about creating a career pathway for these graduates to move into city employment or other full-time employment that is paying higher wages and higher benefits. And so today's ceremony is very pivotal for them, because not only is it accumulation of all their efforts and all their time spent over the year, but also it allows them to start moving into the career pathway that we've created and working with our personnel department, the mayor's office, the economic and workforce development, and our community-based organizations. These individuals, after they've graduated from this program, will start a transition process with the personnel department, and the personnel department will contact each of these individuals on moving forward into city employment in terms of obtaining their city application, verifying driver's license identifications, and then also matching them up to a city job itself. The graduates will also have to go through a series of steps to move into city employment, but we anticipate that those steps will take about 30 to 45 days, and we are working really hard to shorten that transition period. So the graduates will remain on our payroll. We definitely do not want to have anybody not earning any wages during that transition period. They will remain on our payroll, and then once an official job offer is made to them, they will make a decision whether they will accept or not accept. But today is really about recognizing their hard work, recognizing all the efforts that they've done, and also really to say thank you to the graduates for all the work that they've done and also keeping Los Angeles beautiful and cleaning Los Angeles as a whole. And so with that, we do have 6 graduates or 6 graduates from CRCD. We have Richard Fishman. Richard, are you there as part of our, there you are. Thank you so much. Wayne Keith Mahone. Wayne, are you there? Thank you, Wayne. We have Marvin Nance. Marvin, raise your hand. There you go. We see you. Thank you so much for your service. Carrington Hall. Carrington. Hey, Carrington, how are you? Thank you again. And we also have Edward McKnight. I see a hand there. There you are. Thanks, Edward. And then we also have Delbert Richardson. Delbert, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for being here today. Do any of the graduates want to say anything to our Board of Public Works before we open it up to some of our other team members? Oh, we have one. Can we unmute the microphone? We can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
Hi, my name is Delbert Richardson. I just would like to say thank you for the opportunity that you have given me. It had made an impact in my life and gave me change. And I'm looking for a brighter future now. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those great words and encouraging words for us, and also thank you for your service as well to do that. I also wanted to take some time to recognize the team that has actually helped not only our community-based organization, but also help support the program. We have Paul Roch, who's our Director of Community Beautification, on the line. We have Kevin Gresham, who operates and manages the day-to-day operations of the program and has been very instrumental from not only implementing the program, but also working with the CBOs. And then just recently, our new Principal Project Coordinator, Devin Satorsky, who is managing the entire program for the California for All. And I should mention, and thank you, Devin and Kevin and Paul for being here this morning. And I should mention that the Clean LA program not only is a cleaning services type of program, but also career development and employment opportunity. It's really about learning those life skills that are necessary to transition into other employment, and also being able to make an impact to their families, the participants' families, themselves, and also their families alike. So I wanted to make that recognition and give that opportunity for those participants that are on the line as well. With that, we do also have some representatives from CRCD. If you're on the line, if you can turn on your video cam, I will quickly spotlight you for everyone. Don't see. Hi, Daniel. think you have to unmute your microphone.
Hello, you guys. I'm Daniel, and I have also.
I have to go all the way down here?
Yes, Nora.
Hey,
as well.
hi, you guys. So just, a couple of words, I just like to thank you guys for the hard work and dedication to the Clean LA program. You guys are doing an awesome job out there. I hope you guys know that. I mean, I know you guys know that. You guys, come every day, dirty, you go clean and you come back dirty. So I really, really appreciate that, the hard work and dedication that you guys are doing out there. And keep up the good work and congratulations.
Thank you.
I think they're flagging somebody else to say something. So I'm going to give CRCD the opportunity to come onto the camera and maybe say a little bit more about their crew.
Hello. So we also have one of the Clean LA graduates that also wants to say something, Mr. Keith Mahone.
I want to show my gratitude of the project that I have had. I'm also now employee of the enterprise under this program. It's been very successful for me in the long run, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Paul, Kevin, Devin, do you want to say anything to the graduates? Not required, but if you do, just open up your mic.
I'll just quickly say, congratulations to you guys. Obviously, you've been working through the summer. It was super hot summer. I know it was not the funnest work out there, and you guys really proved your mettle. And look forward to hearing your continuing stories as you guys move on in the job careers, whether those are jobs with the city or the other, or with the CBOs or anything like that. But it's good to see you guys, and once again, congratulations.
Great. And graduates, you will receive a certificate. We will deliver them to you. They are prepared, so it's really nice certificates that you'll receive. And so each of you will receive a certificate, and the certificate, just for the record, I'll read into the record. Certificate of recognition. The Board of Public Works honors the individual. It'll have the date and also the community-based organization that you're with for successfully completing 1 year of on-the-job training, and has met the requirements, including City 101 and or job readiness training of the City of Los Angeles Department of Public Works Clean LA program, and is qualified to perform general loose litter and weed abatement, cleaning and maintenance services in the public right of way. So I wanted to read that into the record. You all receive this, and we look forward to you completing your city application and also having your evaluations in place so that we can finalize your packet and forward that over to our personnel department so that we can start the transition process into city employment. And so congratulations again, graduates, for being here today. And we thank you again for your services.
For leading us on that graduation for the Clean LA program. Commissioners, is there anything any of you want to say to our graduates today?
Okay. Well, you want me to go first, Madam President?
Sure, Dr. David.
I want to, first of all, thank the city staff and administrators who have coordinated this effort and this program, because what is very unique about it is that we have reflected the values of the city council, and the values of Mayor Eric Garcetti. And those values are that in the programs we implement, it is our goal to be inclusive of the various cultures that make up Los Angeles. So we've not only achieved this with the leaders who put the program together, but we also have accomplished diverse regions in the city being involved, from South Los Angeles to Midtown to East Los Angeles, all of whom are areas where we have high unemployment. And so these geographic areas, in addition to the cultures that we've been able to touch bases with, reflects what we stand for in the city of Los Angeles. As we look at what you are doing, this whole issue of the environment, we hear about it all the time. It is really great that the work that you are doing helps to clean up Los Angeles and the environment. It says a lot about what kind of place we are, what kind of organization we are when we focus on trying to maintain our environment. And I think finally, the city of Los Angeles is a place where there are many different kinds of jobs. And in many ways, it's a safety net. It is a taxpayer-run, publicly funded organization. But as an employee, once you get involved in the city of Los Angeles, the potential to do different things is great. We have people from engineers to lawyers, from administrators to customer service representatives. We have at least approximately over 40 departments with various different tasks that a human being can do in the city of Los Angeles. And so I congratulate you for your entry into a job provided with the funds and the tender, loving care of the administrators of Los Angeles, and know that you're in an organization in which you can continue to grow and develop in any direction you choose. And so I am proud of our administrators who've put this program together in the way that they have, but I'm prouder of those of you who have matriculated or who have been involved, who have been enrolled in this employment opportunity. We don't know what kind of impact we make in the city of Los Angeles until we can see the outcome of the work that we have done. So today I conclude by saying that by us being able to see those of you who have been in the program, we have realized the accomplishments and the impact that we can make in the city when we do our jobs. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis, for leading us on that. I second everything you said, by the way. Any other commissioner? Commissioner Reyes or Commissioner Corson?
I also would like to echo what President Pro Tem Davis has articulated to everyone. Thank you for the team who has put together this excellent program. Thank you so much for all the graduates for taking this advantage of this opportunity. Because in the end, it's really all about equity and the potential, your potential to advance your employment and livelihood within the city of Los Angeles, your potential to contribute to the betterment of the communities that you serve. And lastly, is your potential to move up your career ladder in the future. So there is a pathway. I really just advise you, work hard at it and take that every opportunity that you're given. And thank you so much. Congratulations, dear graduates.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Appreciate your words. Commissioner Corson?
In the name of brevity, Dr. Davis, as usual, said everything that, but a lot more eloquently than I could ever say it. So I will echo what Dr. Davis and Commissioner Reyes said and express my gratitude and thanks to the graduates for taking on this role and everything you did. And thank you, Dr. Campos, for making sure we had time to acknowledge our graduates today.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. I'm going to do a little pivot here and I'm going to switch to our community-based organizations. These are the folks that directly hire our Clean LA participants and directly oversee their everyday work. And I'm very proud to work with each and one of them today. If you remember, colleagues, last month we had folks from CRCD and KYCC. We're proud to join in the group this time, Northeast Graffiti Busters as well. We have a couple of more CBOs that work with us under this program. As you know, we are now having graduates reaching their 12th month. And so this is why we're coming into cohorts. So you'll see more graduates as we approach the end of the year and starting of the new year. So I think, Dr. Campos, do you want to turn it over to the community-based organizations? And then I'll close up the graduation.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you so much, participants from CRCD into the Clean LA program. I'm going to switch over and recognize the remaining 5 individuals that are acknowledged. The sole person from KYCC, which is Koreatown Youth and Community Center, Vincent Gordon. Vincent, good morning to you. If you can turn on your video cam, there you are. I am going to recognize you for all the work that you've done in the Clean LA program. Same commentary in regards to meeting the eligible requirements, meeting all the conditions, and also performing the work over the 1-year period. You will also receive a certificate as well with your name and KYCC as your community-based organization. Wanted to say thank you again for all your hard work working through the Clean LA program. Coming to work every day, it's hard in the morning and leaving in the evening, and just sticking to the program. And you've gotten to a point where you are now at a point where you're meeting these minimum requirements so that we can make a recommendation to our personnel department to start the transition process into full-time employment. And that's one of the goals that we had in this Clean LA program, is really creating that pathway to a city career, or a pathway to a better job that's going to earn you more money in terms of hours and also better wages. So Vincent, thank you so much for your time, for your work, your dedication, and helping us clean Los Angeles, but more importantly, giving an opportunity not only to you and your family, and making a difference for the future generations. So with that, Vincent, if you wanted to say a few words, I'll open up the mic for you. Not required, but if you wanted to, you could. And then we also have Commissioners Albert Soria from KYCC that may say some few words as well.
Yeah, I just want to say thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to work. I want to thank my supervisors, Alberto Soria and Albert Rodriguez. Like, they really gave me a good opportunity, to move forward in life. I know, I made mistakes in the past and everything, but I feel this is a good opportunity to move forward and, prove something different to a lot of people.
Alberto, do you want to say a few words to the graduate? I know you only have one, but we expect more to come as the months go by. So as we mentioned, this is our second wave of graduates that are coming in. This is just the beginning. We have 110 or so that are in the program. We've graduated about 6 or so last month or so, and then now these are the 11 that are graduating in this bi-monthly celebration. So Alberto, I'll open it up the mic for you if you want to say a few words. We can't hear you.
Okay, I think it's all good now. Thank you for inviting me to the graduation. Vincent, thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the dedication to KYCC. Thank you for, growing professionally into an environment that's good for you, and for showing us how to advance in yourself. And thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Paul for the support, as long as my boss, Albert Rodriguez. Couldn't have done this without you. And yes, we do have a few more graduates coming soon. So it's a good thing that we're doing here for these guys, and appreciate it.
Albert, do you want to say a few words as well?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Vince, again, for all your hard work. I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you for all the support that you guys have given us. I truly think that this is such an important program for not only our participants, but our community. The simple fact of being able to provide a place where people can come and be a part of a team, learn new skills, and continue to add those skills to their resume is just simply amazing. And then to top it off, the opportunity to be able to get a city job is just phenomenal. I am totally an advocate for this program. We have our ups and downs, but the program is amazing, and I truly see it as a great accomplishment for the city of LA. again, I just say I am truly a supporter of this program and hope to continue to facilitate participants at KYCC. So again, thank you, Vincent, for all your hard work. Thank you again to all the participants. And then, of course, Albert Soria, you do an amazing job as their direct supervisor. And Kevin and Paul, you guys have been nothing but supportive. Thank you, Commissioner, President, Vice President. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, KYCC. And we do, commissioners, we do have 3 other individuals from NEGB, which is the acronym we use for Northeast Graffiti Busters. And if it's okay, we'll go ahead and recognize those 3 individuals if they're on the line at this time. And then we'll come back for any commentary. So again, Vincent, congratulations. Albert and Alberto, thank you so much for the encouraging words for today's ceremony. With that, I'm going to spotlight those graduates that are here for or from NEGB: Ivan Escobedo, Armin Aganyan, and Ramon Cottle. Good morning to you all. And also NEGB, Rogelio Flores and Veronica Soto. If you can just turn on your microphone, I'm sorry, if you could turn on your video cam, I will go ahead and spotlight you for everyone. Do not see any additional cameras going on. Again, this is for the NEGB team. If you're on the line, if you can turn on your video cams or raise your hand by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon. Let's see, we have, hi, Cynthia Palinini. You have your hand raised. If you can unmute your microphone at this time.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Let me go ahead and send you an invitation to join us as a panel so that you can turn on your video cam.
Okay.
And then you should receive that invitation. Once you do, it'll ask you to accept the invitation, and then from there, you should be able to turn on your video cam.
Okay, there we go. Good morning.
Good morning. Perfect. Let me go ahead and spotlight you. And I will change names here. NEGB. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and want to recognize Ivan, Armin, and Ramon. If you can please raise your hand, let us know who's Ivan.
Right here.
Ivan, congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Armin.
Hello.
Canyon.
Thank you.
Hi, Armin. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Ramon Cottle.
Right here.
Hi, Ramon. Thank you so much. Do any of you want to say a few words for your graduation? We want to say thank you again for working in the Clean LA program. Thank you again for also going through the entire program in its entirety and also meeting all the requirements. We look forward for you to completing your city application. We look forward to also presenting you a certificate. You will all receive a certificate with your name and, of course, the name of your organization, CBO, with all the words that are in the certificate. And if you missed it a little earlier, the certificate will be recognizing from the Board of Public Works to you for successfully completing 1 year of the on-the-job training and has met the requirements, including City 101 and/or job readiness training of the City of Los Angeles Department of Public Works Clean LA program. And you are qualified to perform general loose litter and weed abatement, cleaning and maintenance services in the public right of way. So each of the graduates will receive that as well. And we look forward to presenting that certificate to you, and you should receive that through your CBO that you work for at this time.
I'm sorry, Dr. Campos, sorry. We do have, there are actually 4 people.
Yes,
You
we
Ronald
missed.
Packard.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
What is the name I missed?
Ronald Backus.
He's on the list.
Okay.
And by the way, on our minutes, on our agenda, if you whatever, it's a public agenda. All your names are on it. If it's some people, it's a really nice document to have if you want to keep it for yourself. You can just print it out of our website, but your names are on it. So, Mr. Ronald Backus, I see your name there. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ronald, I apologize. I didn't have it on my script here, and I apologize that it's on the agenda. And thank you, President Garcia, for highlighting that. And Ronald, thank you so much again for your service as well. Do any of the four of you want to say anything to our Board of Public Works? Not required, but there you go. Brave soul.
Hi, Marvin. I just want to take this time, opportunity, just thank the city, all the staff in the city, all your colleagues, Mr. Kevin Grisham, thank you so much for the opportunity. And I just want to thank the panel and everybody. And last but not least, my supervisor, my boss, Mr. Rogelio Flores, Northeast Graffiti Busters, for giving me the opportunity and chance, to get a city job. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to for completing your entire packet. Again, the city application will be very important. When personnel department contacts you, please make sure you reach out to them as quickly as possible. They will schedule you for a medical exam for clearance and also fingerprints. So there's a series of steps that will require, again, 30 to 45 days is what we anticipate, but we're really working really hard to shorten that time period. You will remain on our payroll for sure up until the time that we make a job offer. And then from there, personnel department will give you the next steps. So congratulations for meeting these requirements. Thank you so much for working for a whole year for the city of Los Angeles, making Los Angeles beautiful and cleaning our streets out there. Also completing the City 101 training and just being on the job for 1,900 hours. That's evidence of your commitment to not only to yourself, but also to cleaning Los Angeles at large. So thank you again and congratulations, graduates.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'll close. I think that's the end of our graduates, right, Dr. Campos?
I did want to give an opportunity for Rogelio to say a few words.
Oh, yes, please,
Director
Rogelio.
Raj and Kevin and Devin, if you want to say a few words before we close out our ceremony. So Rogelio, please.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Campos. I just wanted to thank the guys. They did an awesome job. They come in every day. It's hot out there, but they don't complain. They just get the job done, and we all just very appreciative of your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Paul, Kevin, or Devin, do you want to say a few last words?
I just want to thank Paul and Kevin. They've really been the spearhead on this program so far. I know I'm coming in new to help with this program, but Kevin and Paul have worked tirelessly to help these folks get these awesome employment opportunities and pathways. And like Dr. Campos said earlier, it's great the work we're doing to clean and beautify LA, but I think the most important aspect of all of this is really getting folks these great opportunities for career advancement. So thank you to everyone for your hard work. I'm happy to be on board, but thanks to Paul and Kevin for all their diligence in helping these folks get in these positions.
Just once again, congratulations to all the graduates. Look forward to seeing you guys around the city.
So I had a few words. I will be succinct. I'm Kevin Gresham. I'm the coordinator for the Clean LA program. It's definitely been a pleasure to be here for these past 11 months working in this fantastic program called Clean LA. But today is not about me as much as it is about these 11 Clean LA employees who we're acknowledging for their dedication to their job as Clean LA employees. And basically for the past year, these individuals have worked tirelessly in the Clean LA program to improve our public spaces. Their hard work and dedication this year has helped to improve the quality of life for all of the residents of Los Angeles and basically helped to provide a sense of community and pride. At the same time, they've been able to distinguish themselves through their hard work, as well as the organizations that they've worked for Having said that, I'm proud to acknowledge all 11 as being Clean LA employees. Your contributions as employees has been significantly positive, and I'm proud to acknowledge you. And I hope you guys have a great step moving forward in the program and in your overall careers.
Thank you, Paul, Devin, Kevin. Thank you so much. And Kevin, can you look up to your camera really quick? There you go. Some of the graduates are seeing you for the first time, maybe, but just wanted to make sure that they saw you complete. So thank you so much. Okay, President Garcia, thank you again for acknowledging these graduates from NEGB and giving us an opportunity to say a few words to your board. I will pass the microphone over to you and the commissioners for any closing commentary.
Thank you, Dr. Campos, for that. I know some of our commissioners spoke already, but if you want to give final remarks, please do so, and then we'll close up. Vice President Villegas.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to say congratulations also to all of our participants and to the administrators and to the nonprofits that are partnering with us to, join us in this endeavor. I realize everything that we're doing today is time consuming, and it's the beginning of a growing program. Thank you for partnering with us again, and we just look forward to more folks to also participate, to join us, and becoming part of the city family, and really sustaining and helping your families, as well as getting good paying jobs. Really, it just doesn't help you all, it helps our society. So we really appreciate that you're taking a step in this direction, and we're really happy for you, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. And the graduates, first and foremost, congratulations to you. Public Works is an amazing department. We are the second largest department in the city of the second largest city in the nation. It's huge. City of LA is a big deal. And the fact that you are not only helping us beautify LA out there every day, but you are now, in a pathway to becoming part of the city family, like Vice President Villegas said. And I just want to say to everyone, everyone in the public and everyone here from all the bureaus that are listening, that cleaning the city streets is not an easy task. These folks go out there and, like you heard today, so they come back dirty, but it's not only that, they pick up stuff, they they deal with many of the things that we see out there. And imagine if these folks were not out there doing the everyday cleaning, our city wouldn't look like it does today. So I just want to say thank you. They're doing as much as we can. We're hiring as much as we can, and we're putting boots on the ground. And these folks here are a testament to that. So the fact that you go out there every day to clean our streets, we thank you. We thank you very much. And I know you go back sometimes to the same corridors and clean the same corridors again. Imagine if you weren't doing that. And imagine if your services were not getting done the way it was. So I just want to say we are in true gratefulness to you for cleaning our streets, and we look forward to this pathway that we have been able to build, and we look forward to building it even more for many more Angelenos. We really appreciate the time that you provide to us. And I also want to say thank you to all the CBO leaders that help us. I know that starting a program at the magnitude of a city as large as we have here is not an easy task, and each and one of you has helped us get through that. Kevin has been our coordinator on that level. He's 50% boots on the ground as well, and 50% administrative, and Kevin carries our direction, and he makes sure that it gets imposed on the ground. And that's also not an easy task, Kevin. So thank you for being such an intricate person on this program for us. And of course to Paul and Devin, now that you're gonna join this cleaning program as well. Thank you so much for being very on top of it and for putting your heart into it, because that's the only way that we're able to really execute at this level. And you know, this is very dear to my heart. About a year and a half ago, I was told the Clean LA program was going to come to the Board of Public Works, and I was super excited to make sure that we led this program. I meet weekly, believe it or not, weekly with the coordinators to make sure that we work to make this program a success. And that's how important this program is. Public Works has a huge, we're 6,000 employees overall, 5 different bureaus and 10 different offices with different disciplinaries in there. It's huge. And I say that to you again so that you can see the career mobility that you are now going to be entering to. A lot of our bureaus have a lot of opportunities once you're inside to move up the ranks within their departments. And so that's what we are so excited about. We're so excited to get you in through the door so that you can now take advantage of that career mobility. And again, the investment that you're doing for yourself is an investment to your families, and it's an investment to the families to come from you. The families that you probably don't even know, your grandkids and your great grandkids, you don't even know them yet, and they are going to benefit from the steps that you are doing today. So thank you. I know that it's hard sometimes waking up early. I know that sometimes you're thinking, why am I going out there and doing this? But trust me, all of this pays off. And it will pay off. You will see that it will pay off in the future as well. So thank you all for investing in yourselves, investing in and taking that time to say, I want to do this and I want to create a better future for myself. It is very important. And thank you to everybody that supports that mission. I appreciate you all, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I look forward to continuing to work with each and one of you. And I, like Paul said, I look forward to seeing you here in the city family. I can't wait to go to the yards and say, that was a Clean LA participant. I'm really enthusiastic about making sure that happens. So again, thank you, everyone. I also want to say a quick thank you to LA Sanitation, Bureau of Sanitation, for being our pilot to open up this pathway. We will start working on phase 2 to open pathways just like this one in our other bureaus. But for now, I just want to say thank you to Nicole Burnson and Rafael Potter, who really have been on the other side with personnel trying to make, not trying, but successfully opening this pathway. So thank you to everyone. And to our SEIU Union 721, David Sanders, who has also cherished and embraced this program. And it's important for us. I say that's important because you will learn that once coming to a city family, the unions really take an important role in your employment. And it's important, and when we support the unions as well. So I just want to say thank you all around, and commissioners, thank you for allowing this time. I know that it's an hour that we take, but you know what? It's an hour so importantly and invested into recognizing the work that goes out there. 1 hour of our time is nothing to all the many 1,900 hours that you guys have done out in the streets. So thank you, everyone, for doing this. I also want to say you guys all work in the highest dense, but highest barrier communities. You know, our concentration is South LA. Our concentration is in those areas that are really heavily burdened by not only homeless encampments, but just all around. And I hope that we can start teaching our community and our public, to respect our streets by not throwing trash in our streets. You guys get the grunt of that, and we thank you for that. So once again, thank you again. Appreciate your time. Have a blessed week and a blessed holiday. You all deserve it, and just cherish you very much. Hug your families, hug your loved ones, because you guys are on your way to doing something very special. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this is so dear to me. So thank you all again, and have a good time. It's always so hard to transition now to business. Thank you again, colleagues, for taking the time to recognize our Clean LA participants. These are part of our program, part of our Public Works Department. So thank you again. And we look forward to having these graduations in person next year. So stay tuned for that. All right, colleagues. Well, after such high emotions, it's always so hard for me to transition, but we do have quite an agenda today and some things that we have to get through in order to continue our city business. So with that said, moving on now to item number 1 on today's agenda. This is a request from the Bureau of Engineering in Council District 6. Task order solicitation number 54. Geosyntec. Okay. I hope the feedback is gone now. Okay, good. Geosyntec Consultants, pre-qualified on-call consultant list, Sepulveda Basin Vision Plan Project. Dr. Campos, I read it into the record and I understand we have 3 public comments for this, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I'll read the recommendation and then we can open the public comment. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to issue the task to Geosyntec Consultants from the pre-qualified on-call wastewater and environmental engineering services consultants list to provide comprehensive master planning and design consulting services for the Sepulveda Basin Vision Plan Project as stated in task order number 54 with a budget authority of $2,339,644, which includes contingency. Dr. Campos, we'll take public comment before. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Tom Williams, we'll go ahead with you first. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Glenn Bailey. Glenn Bailey, the Board of Public Works is now considering item number 1. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this item. If you can please unmute your microphone.
Thank you, Glenn Bailey. Speaking as an individual, I earlier indicated my various affiliations, but just know I've been involved with Sepulveda Basin issues since the 1970s. And by the way, this Sepulveda Basin is also partially located in the new redistricted Council District 4. It's not just Council District 6, so please make that note. So in my involvement, I've seen from the early 70s when the city wanted to put a sewage treatment plant in, now known as Tillman. The Army Corps of Engineers said, no, it's their land, but the city went over their heads and got President Nixon administration to approve it. In the late 70s, Hollywood Park Racetrack wanted to move its facility from Inglewood to the basin, and that was seriously considered by the city. For the 1984 Olympics, they wanted to dam the LA River in the Sepulveda Basin for a rowing channel. That was defeated. Those are just some of the examples of what the city has done to the open space, the flood control facility that causes concern in the community. And most recently, the recently released racist recordings led by Nuri Martinez. She mentioned plans for Olympics and for the Rams in the Sepulveda Basin. So as you can see, we're very concerned about is this a Trojan horse for massive development or overdevelopment in the basin? Or will it lead to the passive recreation and the environmental improvement? In order to make sure we hopefully do the latter, it's very important that we engage the neighborhood councils that represent the Sepulveda Basin and the public. So far, we have not had any outreach. We have not been able to get any information about this going forward. And given its affiliation with Nuri Martinez, we are very, very suspicious. I am concerned that this that this might be a plan that just sits on the shelf and then you've wasted $2 million that could have actually been used for better improvements. But I want to make sure that that the public, the neighborhood councils are going to be watching this closely. Our expectations are high. We're used to master planning process that have always in the past been led by the Army Corps of Engineers. And it is their land, and that's the standard that we're going to be measuring against. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. We'll move on to the next caller. Caller ending in 183, Nikki Alvarado, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time by pressing *6. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 1. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this segment. Please go ahead.
Hello, I've been waiting all this time and am very committed to letting a public opinion be brought to this issue. There has been studies done by water scientists that show we could use this space entirely in a way that would improve both the ecology of the city as well as the usefulness and beauty for the residents. I've lived in Tarzana since 1955, and I think it's horrible that you're planning to change this site without local engagement and looking at alternative uses for it where it could become a water sink as well as a natural space for wildlife and humans to enjoy. And I think you absolutely should not approve this measure. Again, Mary Martinez has become a person of suspicion, and the company that's being looked at to be given the contract is already in trouble for its work on the LA River Restoration Project. So I am calling to say this shouldn't be done. You absolutely need to represent the people of the city and give them a voice in the use of this vital space. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. We'll move on to the last caller on the line for item number 1, Patricia Bates. Hi, Patricia. If you can please unmute your microphone at this time. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 1. Please go ahead. Patricia Bates. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 1. You have indicated that you'd like to speak on item number 1. If you can please unmute your microphone at this time. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 1. Last call for Patricia Bates. Patricia Bates, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 1. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this item. Patricia Bates, I've asked if you can unmute your microphone. If you can hear us, if you can please unmute your microphone, or if the audio is not working, you can always lower your hand just to let us know that you are still on the line if you can hear us. Last call for Patricia Bates. Seeing no response for electronic hand going up or down. President Garcia and Commissioners, it appears that Patricia Bates is not responding at this time. That does close the commentary for item number 1.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Public comment for item number 1 is officially closed. Today we have Nur from the Bureau of Engineering who will do today's presentation. Nur Malice.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. To provide a contextual background, the Sepulveda Basin is an approximately 2,000-acre flood risk control facility owned and managed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The Corps has released large areas of the city of Los Angeles and other public and private entities for recreation and other uses. The recreation uses are largely managed by the city's Department of Rec and Parks. The Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant is in the basin and is operated and managed by LA Sanitation. The LA River Recreation Zone for river kayaking and fishing is managed by the Mountain Recreation and Conservation Authority, MRCA. At over 2,000 acres, the basin is the largest open space in the San Fernando Valley and the second largest in the city. The basin is an important hub for passive and active outdoor recreation containing many important community facilities, including the Anthony C. Bellinson Park with Lake Balboa, the Sepulveda Basin Sports Complex, the Japanese Garden, multiple golf courses, a model aircraft field, an archery range, kayaking and fishing areas, and other community spaces. The basin also contains critical habitat for plants and wildlife and a soft-bottom section of the LA River. Los Angeles is one of the most park-poor largest cities in the United States, according to the Trust for Public Land. The basin is directly adjacent to several communities defined as being in high or in very high need for open space in LA County parks, needs assessment. Currently, large areas of the basin remain undeveloped, underutilized, and are challenging to access. There are approximately 325 acres of land classified as inactive and/or future recreation in the Sepulveda Dam Basin Master Plan and the environmental assessment published by the Army Corps of Engineers in 2011. This project's ultimate goal is to establish a world-class vision plan resulting in a long-term strategic plan for the future of the basin that builds on the Corps' 2011 environmental assessment, which also discusses land use classification and other design efforts. This vision plan will propose designs that can be implemented in phases to improve the visitor experience, maximize opportunities for recreation, improve access throughout the basin, improve the habitat areas and ecosystem functions, restore natural function to the Ellie River and its tributaries, and improve the flood control function of the basin. This vision plan will include the development of up to 12 selected public projects, and these projects are intended to increase access to the 2028 Olympic events, respond to communities' input and needs, and focus on river restoration efforts, improving flood risk management and natural river functions. Some prospective projects include aquatic centers, bike paths, pedestrian and cycling experiences, golf amenities, playgrounds, Olympic events, as well as enhancing the ecosystem in environmentally sensitive areas of the basin, namely in the East and South Sepulveda Basin. The proposed changes in the basin are intended to improve connectivity to the surrounding communities and increase movement within the basin, which will facilitate the use of the basin for the 2028 Olympics. In terms of the actual task order solicitation, on February 9, 2022, Bureau of Engineering distributed task order solicitation number 54 to all 24 consultants on the pre-qualified on-call water and environmental engineering services consultant list to provide the work and feasibility study to work with the city to provide this grand vision plan. The following 4 firms submitted proposals on March 25th. It's Geosyntec, McMillan, Jacobs Associates, Atkins North America, and Jacobs. After a thorough evaluation of the proposals, all 4 firms were invited to interview between April 25th and April 28th. And the interview panel consisted of 3 BOE staff, 1 person from Rec and Parks, and 1 person from MRCA. Geosyntec was selected based on the evaluation of the team's qualifications, experience, and availability of the personnel to deliver the project. An amount of $1,949,654, which includes $50,000 of reimbursable expenses, was agreed and negotiated with Geosyntec. This draft feasibility study vision plan is anticipated to be complete in January 2024, and the final adopted feasibility study vision plan is expected to be completed in July of 2024. And on September 22nd, 2022, a partial MTP for $149,000 was issued to Geosyntec as a means to start on this important task prior to receiving full authority from the board. Commissioner Villegas was briefed on September 21st and approved this partial MTP. In terms of business inclusion program, in terms of a basis, the anticipated participation levels are 18% minority business enterprise, 4% women business enterprise, 25% small business enterprise, 8% emerging business enterprise, and 3% disadvantaged veteran business enterprise. Fortunately, and we're proud to say that this task, the consultant is pledging participation levels of 22.02% minority business enterprise, 26.33% women business enterprise, 25.37% small business enterprise, 15.91% emerging business enterprise, and 4.55% of disadvantaged veteran business enterprise. They all exceeded the anticipated goals. In terms of the funding, this total funding will include the $2,339,654, which does include $390,000 of contingency. And partial funding for this project is provided by a grant of $950,000 from the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, which is on a reimbursement basis, and a grant agreement has been executed. Additional funding of $1 million is from the Capital and Technology Improvement Expenditure Program approved this fiscal year. And additionally, we got funding for 2022-2023 from CTIP in the amount of $2,500,000. And this concludes the board presentation. And in terms of answering the questions from the speakers, ladies and gentlemen, this project does indeed include not just projects for recreation, but in terms of planting and environmental projects, from using the Army Corps of Engineers land to do environmental mitigation, planting, ecosystem restoration, And the Army Corps of Engineers has land classification maps, which are very strictly dictated, where certain areas can only be used for recreation, and the other ones have to be used specifically for environmentally sensitive areas for restoration and planting, and things that will help the wildlife, such as restoration for least Bosberia, who are prevalent in that area. And in terms of the community engagement, this project just started in terms of, we just started with a partial NTP about a couple months ago, or a month and a half ago, and we're continuing with this project, and there will indeed be a very large, complex community engagement plan, which we're still assessing, and this will in no way be done in a vacuum. Everyone will be, it'll be very large. We'll have many different community meetings with participation, and many people will be outreached to via, email, notice, flyer. We're going to do our due diligence to make sure that it's up to the standard of the community. What Mr. Bailey has mentioned, the Army Corps of Engineers has done some good engagement in the past. We're going to have that standard and exceed it. And this will, by the end of the vision plan, this will incorporate all of community's comments, and you can guarantee that that will be the case.
Thank you, Mr. Morales, for that very thorough report and for answering our public comment as well. Colleagues, any questions on this item? Vice President Villegas and then Dr. Davis.
Thank you. I'll be quick. I appreciate you answering the questions. Thank you again. I just wanted to reiterate that from the public, and just wanted to make sure that you'll also be working with the neighborhood councils. I understand Mr. Bailey is in a lot of associations and the Valley Alliance and the Encino Neighborhood Council, just to be able to be inclusive of those that obviously have a big interest in this project. And thank you for acknowledging that these things are not done in a vacuum, in order to create a vision plan, we clearly need participation from the public. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Dr. Davis?
Thank you. Thank you for the report and sharing this information. In terms of the process in which we had people to compete for the task, there were 3, I think you told us, companies that competed. Is that right? Or were there 4? 3.
It was 4 companies.
4 companies that competed. You mentioned that of the 4, Geosyntex was the only one that had the capacity to complete the task. Is that right?
Well, they weren't the only ones who had the capacity. Other teams were also, one other team was very good, but in terms of assessing the overall qualifications and background experience, Geosyntex happened to be the most qualified to do this work, and they do have capacity to do this work.
Yeah, but it's not true that others that competed did not have capacity.
For the most part, the other 3 firms, one of them had very large capacity, because one of the actual criteria is asking how much time they can spend on this project in terms of staff. And Geosyntex responded that they would have the most staff available to perform this task. And also Geosyntex had the best overall understanding of the total vision and what the task order solicitation objectives were. And they had ultimately the best proposal and best project understanding and approach. And it was really—
However, it's not true that others who competed did not have the capacity. Is that correct? Is that a true statement?
It is true that other firms, one other firm did have similar capacities as Geosyntex.
So that is a true statement.
That is a true
not
statement.
True that other firms that competed did not have capacity. Other firms who competed had capacity as well. That's a true statement.
That is correct. They had capacity.
I just wanted to get that on the record.
Okay.
Now, secondly, in terms of the approval, you got approval prior to engaging in the task, correct? For work to begin.
Yes, to begin, we got partial approval of a notice to proceed, and then we began on the initial task of project setup and coming up with a schedule and potential implementation plan and doing some research. And that was for $149,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
September 23rd.
Specifically, what research did you engage in prior to coming to the board?
And this was just research on utilities in the area, putting an engagement plan together. And that's pretty much all that was the capacity for, doing
Do
some
you
of
have-
this, yeah.
Do you
Land
have-
use, looking at land use, looking at utilities, looking at sustainability, looking at some of the landscape in the area that we would have in the Sepulveda Basin in order to begin having project alternatives, as well as putting an engagement, a draft engagement plan together, and putting in potential setting up technical advisory committee meetings as well.
Engagement. What are the elements of engagement?
The elements of engagement, we have three. Well, there's going to be technical advisory committee engagement, where we would get feedback and input from different government and state agencies that have jurisdiction over the Sepulveda Basin, such as Mountain Recreation Conservancy Agency, the council offices 4 and 6, Army Corps of Engineers, Metro Orange Line, Department of Fish and Wildlife, Regional Water Quality Control Board, and many more that are included. And that's going to be the technical advisory committee. Then engagement for the public, that'll be input where we would have community meetings. We'll choose community meetings, areas where it's close to the basin, such as the Sepulveda Basin Sports Complex. And we would just have community meetings at each phase of the project. We'll have our first phase, 30%, 60%, 90%. And after we do the 30%, we'll engage the community, or we're going to engage the community even prior to that to introduce the project and to let them know what we plan to do. And we're going to get their feedback versus, public comments versus questionnaires, as well as maybe some boards that they put little paper, little stickies on it that chooses what they would like to see in the basin, what they like, what we don't like.
Mm-hmm. So to clarify our objective in this preliminary exploration that we have done prior to presenting to the board, I need to be clear what our objective was. Is our objective in this work that we've already done to identify community input, or is it to plan and schedule when we would do community input?
It's both. It would be for planning and scheduling when to do community input.
And let me ask you, when did we plan to do community input?
We plan to do
as a result of this work, of course.
As a result of this work, we plan to do our first community meeting of late January of 2022.
And when we focused on setting that as an objective, we had the idea and the vision that we would get input from the community, correct? Before we do what?
Before we do any major work. So any kind of major, we would get their feedback before we would actually develop the plan any further. So we would just maybe introduce in the first community meeting, introduce the project, introduce what we have in mind, such as the different locations of where we want the projects, the type of projects, and then we would hear the community's input in terms of what they like or dislike about the project, what other suggestions they have, or if they have any kind of input in regards to, this may not be the best idea to put it here because of certain other reasons, such as environmentally sensitive or certain other opinions that they have. Then we take that feedback and we develop it further. And the whole goal is, once we get this first community meeting and engage the community, understand what they really want, we develop that based on what their preferences and opinions are. And we come back to them later on in a further stage indicating, this is what you indicated when we first went out here, this is what we brought in, and this is how we have changed it to incorporate your comments and feedback. And we also have to incorporate comments and feedback from the different agencies, the technical oversight agencies that have jurisdictional in this project, because they may have opinions on certain types of projects, where the projects are, and so on and so forth.
So you mentioned initially in your report before the board that you had approximately 12 programs that involve the community. And now you're telling me that in terms of our engagement with the community, we're going to ask them now, what do they think about these 12 programs that we're going to present? How did we get the 12 programs? How did we identify these 12 programs as being critically important to the project?
These 12 programs were identified by the Army Corps. It's a combination of multiple agencies, the Army Corps of Engineers, Department of Rec and Parks, Council, the Council District number 6, and Metro, as well as just larger goals, like the mayor's office, for instance, has a goal to complete a bike path by 2028 along the LA River. So that was why we had the LA River project within our footprint in one of our proposed projects. It was a combination of many different agencies, and some of these have been probably canned since, or have been planned before my time and before some of the current members, of the different agencies have been involved.
So one final question, in terms of the land use objective of the project, is there community input on that, or how does that evolve?
The land use, in terms of classification land use, that's dictated from the environmental document from the Army Corps of Engineers, their NEPA document, and they've stipulated certain areas within the basin that are environmentally sensitive, and they color coded it. So these are the areas that you can build recreation and parks. These are some of the areas you cannot do anything but vegetation and ecosystem restoration due to the sensitive wildlife. And that's mainly in the East Sepulveda Basin and the South Sepulveda Basin. They also dictated areas where it's just strictly operation. We cannot do any work there. This is just strictly their operation. And we're gonna do the law, we would have to follow that environmental document. We cannot deviate from it to provide comfort for maybe some community members who are concerned, is that we will follow that document to the T and not deviate from it. So by default, we will always naturally have projects where it's strictly focused on restoration and ecosystem improvement and restoration, where it's environmentally sensitive.
So I think overall, the concern for all of us, both those of us in the city as well as the community who we serve, is to have some consensual decision-making opportunity where possible, where the community can be involved in the decisions and some of the goals and objectives and visions that we have for the project. So obviously, we've all heard from this presentation that the community input is critically important. And so we want to put that out front in what we're doing in a way that the community knows that they were critically important in these objectives and goals that we're putting forth in the proposal. And it appears that there is some confusion about that process. So thank you so much for this report.
No, you're welcome. And I will lastly say to the Board of Public Works and also to the community members, ladies and gentlemen on the call, this will not be done in a vacuum. There'll be immense community engagement for this project, which will which will get feedback from the community. So they are participating in our vision and goals. It'll be a community vision plan.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis, for that. Commissioner Reyes.
So I just want to just piggyback on what Dr. Davis' insights are, and I just want to add to whatever the visioning or reimagining the Sepulveda basis, because I've noticed several gaps, right, in the documents that you provided us. We are facing unprecedented challenges of climate change, and you've seen that with our record-breaking temperatures, the drought that we're experiencing. And we must really increase our efforts to protect that natural environment. And the LA River, in that area, there's like 2,000 acres that you mentioned, is really prime for a comprehensive approach when we think about restoration, when we think about rehabilitation, when we think about reimagining what that basin will look like. It's not just for Olympics or recreation. It's really a broad spectrum when we reconfigure it to provide that model where that area could be a climate adapted area for the San Fernando Valley residents, for the disadvantaged communities that are there that suffer the brunt of climate change. So I just want to make sure that that specific, although you did say that there are sensitive areas, it's not just the sensitive areas. It's how do we use nature-based solutions to mitigate that climate change and restore those ecosystem functions in that area. For example, groundwater recharge, right? To maximize our local water supplies, because we need those local water supplies. And that is a great opportunity, a great area to do projects of that nature, reducing the flood risk downstream and the surrounding communities, protecting the wildlife, the biodiversity within the Sepulveda Basin, and really adapting the principles into policies that will really govern. And those environmental justice principles and practices are going to come from the communities that are there, the neighborhood councils and the organizations that are really working and are embedded in those communities that are the social fabric of that community there. So it's not just that we're envisioning it for recreation and our Olympics. It's really building the strong community through a coalition of all the folks that are there who are invested in that community and who would like to see that project work for that community. So I just want to emphasize that you have that opportunity to do it here in this specific design project that we're thinking of approving today. But I just want to make sure that the things that I've mentioned today are then provided and talked about and discussed with our community stakeholders.
Mhm. We'll do for sure. We will plan for this.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Commissioner Corson?
I heard my name called because Commissioner Reyes kept saying community stakeholders. I live on the other side of the basin, on the other side of the freeway. I think a lot of interesting points were raised. I'm going to take the privilege of speaking for Pat Bates, even though we couldn't hear her. I know her very well, just like I know Glenn somewhat well. Pat is a board member with the Audubon Society of the San Fernando Valley Sepulveda Basin. And they do a guided tour the second Saturday of each month. So we missed it already for this month. So it'll be next month. I know she cares very deeply about the ecosystem and the habitat there. In terms of the vision plan, preserving the wildlife, the environmental factors are important as well. But it's an economic opportunity to have this area of the valley participate in the Olympics. I was going through my notes from our briefing, and I didn't see it in the report in terms of the economic benefits associated with hosting a piece of the Olympics. Is that going to be a part of the vision plan? What economic factors will play a part in that vision plan? That's my only question. So thank you.
Economic factors that will play a part of the vision plan. Well, there's going to be, we don't know exactly what events they're going to be in the Sepulveda Basin. There's about 3 of them. And we don't know we have to know which ones are temporary and which ones are going to be permanent. And if the ones that are permanent, they'll be, of course, an investment to the larger vision plan. And we will do, as part of the vision plan, we are doing different alternatives to our projects and cost estimates and cost benefit analysis as well. We will do a cost benefit analysis. How much we invest versus how much will get returned.
Okay, the only thing I would add is going forward, when they are making presentations to the public, if we can be more transparent about the economics of the Olympics and what it means in terms of not just for the city, but what it means for these projects being built in terms of the benefits we're receiving from the Olympics, financial incentives to be able to afford any improvements in the basin.
No, of course, we'll do.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson and Nur. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions. This is in phase, right? This is like our first phase, Nur?
Yes, this vision plan is the first phase, and then the full implementation is expected to take upwards of 25 years, depending on the types of projects and funding available. So this vision plan, the date I referenced of July of 2024, that's when we anticipate getting a final adopted vision plan. So that's when it has, the vision plan, the ultimate chosen vision plan, the different alternatives, and the whole process from beginning to end of how we put that together, all the technical background, all the different community input that was received. It'll be a large study and a large book that'll have everything. And then once we get funding, we'll choose which projects we start on first. And we'll have a phasing plan associated with it.
Right. So there's still many more opportunities where community can engage and give their feedback and provide any type of ideas to what we can build out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They will. Between this process and towards the end, there'll be several community engagement meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. And just to be clear, folks, this land is owned by the AmeriCorps of Engineering, so we are working very closely with them to obtain permits in every phase of this development. So I just want to, provide context that we're the city of LA. We are going into land of AmeriCorps of Engineers, and if anybody has worked with the AmeriCorps of Engineers in the past, it's a very long and tedious process to get permits and to get clearance from them. So the fact that we're even at this point is already a success, and it's just the beginning of our process to build there. So just rest assured, everyone, there's gonna be opportunity for everybody to be heard. And so I look forward to the community engagement pieces of it. And Mr. Corson, since you are a constituent of that, we look forward to hearing your thoughts and concerns as well, and also engaging in that community process. So thank you for that, Nur, making sure that is still gonna be, that it is just the beginning of this process.
Right, and then also to echo it, it will not just be recreation and parks projects. We do plan on having things dedicated to nature and climate change and so on in those certain areas. 100%.
And then we're gonna look into how we can
engage the community on that specific, on these specific elements.
Exactly. And also we're gonna look to see how we can recycle water, how we can do some storm capture. You remember Tillman Plan is right in that same section. We have the Japanese garden that's fueled by reclaimed water. So there's a lot to come and there's a lot to do. So I just want to first and foremost thank the public for being here. I want to thank you, Nur, for working very dedicated to this project, and all the community in District 6. But again, this is so what we're doing today is allowing BOE to just take the first step on exploring the vast amount that we can do here. And so more things will come in the early next year. So January of 2023, I believe. And then there's, you'll develop the community plan for it. So stay tuned, folks, because community engagement meetings will be 2023. Okay, colleagues, any other questions, comments, or concerns regarding the item number 1?
Wow.
I move the item.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Is there a second to move item number 1?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, there's the first by VP Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 1 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nur, for answering all of our questions and providing such good report back. We look forward to being engaged in this process. So thank you so much again. Have a good rest of the day.
Right, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone else that called in on this. We look forward to also talking to you next year on this program. All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 2. This is a request in Council District 10, a task order solicitation number 63, Lehr Architects, Inc., pre-qualified on-call consultants list, Old Washington Irving Library Building Renovations Project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the City of Los Angeles City Engineer to issue the task to Lehr Architects, Inc. from the pre-qualified on-call architectural and related professional services consultant list to provide architectural design and construction administration services for the Old Washington Urban Library Building renovations project as stated in Task Order 6-3 with a budget authority of $750,000, including contingency. And this morning we have Mr. Fierce here on this item. And Mr. Haji, are you on this item too? All right. Let me just double check for public comment. Dr. Campos, do we have any public comment on item number 2?
None that were pre-identified, but we can ask really quick. Members of the general public, if you'd like to speak on item number 2, if you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or click the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application. Madam President, see no hands raised. Response.
Great.
Thanks.
Public comment for item number 2 is now officially closed. Ohaji and Mr. Fierce, welcome. Good morning.
Good afternoon. Yes, so the report that I'm giving you here is, so on June 11th, 2014, the board approved the pre-qualified on-call list of 20 consultants to provide architectural related professional services for various projects, and the pre-qualified on-call list has been amended and will expire in September of 2024. The project is to remodel and rehabilitate the existing 4,800 square foot historical structure and the associated site improvements. The goal is to increase community access to children's literacy programs and will provide flexible space to accommodate children's reading resources, group and individual STEM programs, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, as well as active literacy programs. The project site is located on the southwest corner of 18th Street and Arlington Avenue in the West Adams District, that's Council District 10. The library building was designated as a city historic cultural monument and was placed on the National Register of Historic Properties. The existing building has been closed since the early 2000s upon completion of the Washington Irving Branch Library, which is located at 4117 West Washington Boulevard. The estimated project budget for the rehabilitation of the building and the site is approximately $14 million. The task was issued on January 28, 2020 to the entire pre-qual on-call list, and a non-mandatory job walk was conducted on February 6, 2020. 3 firms responded and submitted proposals. On November 18, 2021, the BOE briefed Commissioner Pelosi at the time to request emergency authority to issue an NTP up to $150,000. And the NTP was issued with the understanding that future phases would not proceed until structural analysis was completed. The preparation of this report was delayed due to the need to complete the historic documentation research and initiate and define the testing required to fully understand the cost and design impacts associated with the required seismic upgrades to the building. The base task amount of this task is $616,980, and with a design contingency of $133,020. The total task ceiling of $750,000. This also includes the previously issued NTP. This project is subject to the Business Inclusion Program, and Lehrer Architects exceeded the participation levels, with the exception of the 3% goal for the disabled veteran-owned business enterprises. Funding for this project is $750,000 in MICLA funds. With that, that concludes my presentation, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
I see Dr. Davis with his hand up. Dr. Davis?
Okay, thank you so much for this report. The Lehrer architectural firm you said has exceeded its pledge in terms of inclusion. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
And when you say that, what do you mean in terms of the small businesses that they're going to work with? How have they presented?
What I mean by that is the goals that we had set for inclusion on their team for minority business enterprises We had a goal of 18% of the work and fee, and they are pledging 18.13%. For women in business enterprise, we had a goal of 4%, and they pledged 8.35%. And for small business enterprise, we had a goal of 25%, and they pledged 33.36%. And for the EBE, we had a goal of 8%, and they pledged 19.39%.
On the DBE?
This DBE, we had a goal of 3%, and that's the area where they were not able to meet that goal. That's 0%.
Wow. Now, is this federal funds involved in this?
No, this is not.
This is locally funded.
This is funded through the city MICLA funds.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's pretty reflective of our pattern of inclusion on local funded projects. There always seems to be a difficulty achieving some of the things that they have discovered that have been difficult to achieve in terms of inclusion on this particular project. Now, the purpose of the work that they're going to do is to develop this building so that it becomes a vehicle for implementing programs for youth. Is that right?
That's right, children's literacy programs.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. When do we anticipate, it's only $750,000 that we need to complete the project?
The $750,000 will address design.
Okay.
And construction oversight.
And how much is the total project?
We are right now anticipating the total project cost to be $14 million for construction.
14 million. And in the 14 million, what department is going to manage the program when it's complete? Do you know?
When the project's complete, I may defer this to Ohaji. It's the library department, but I will defer it. Ohaji maybe can expand on that.
Ohaji, is it the library department?
Apologies, all trying to find a mute button. Good morning, commissioners. It is the library department who will operate the facility.
How long do you anticipate the general time period that it will take us to complete the project?
To complete this project, we're looking at another, at minimum, a year and a half before we go to construction, and then roughly a 2-year construction duration. Just because it's a small building, but it's an unreinforced masonry building, historical, etc. So we need to set the expectations that this is going to be a difficult and lengthy construction duration.
So I know you can't give me specifics, but I just want generalities here. So we're talking about somewhere between 2025 that we anticipate the completion of the project, maybe perhaps?
Yes. Yeah, I would say towards the end of 2025, early 2026.
Yeah, we're actually, the schedule right now anticipates August of 2025 for completion.
Great. Well, I think that overall, the challenges, as I have said earlier, that we have are pretty consistent with the challenges we have on locally funded projects. Hopefully, in the future, we might be able to get lucky so that when we're doing constructions in communities like these, that we could maximize our potential for inclusion in these areas that have so frequently become a pattern. But on federal projects, though, as I've looked at our performance, it is so much better. It is so exemplary when we look at the federally funded projects as it relates to us achieving the kind of inclusion that we've found gaps in this particular project on. But one of the things that I really do like is that we have taken this project and we have come out with a wonderful plan for repurposing this library and including youth programs. And I think it's an outstanding concept. And I wish us the very best on this. And I hope that now that we have representation in the 10th district, that we can move expeditiously to help deliver the project to the district. So thank you so much for the report.
Great on all that. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Any other questions, commissioners? Seeing none. Haji or Mr. Fears, how is it, what is the nature of the building right now? Is it really in a bad condition, or what, how does it look like now?
Yes, it's in fairly poor condition. It has received a ton of graffiti, which is constantly an abatement and vandalism nightmare for the council office and for general services. The interior will need to have a significant amount of hazardous materials abatement. It's not horrendous, it's not rat infested or anything of that nature, but there are termites. It does have hazardous materials abatement, hazardous materials that need to be abated as soon as possible.
Okay, understood. I'm looking forward to that. And then just as my final question for this, the final concept is going to, I know that you say financial literacy programs, but we're going to renovate it to become a library again, right?
Yes, unfortunately, currently it can't meet the current library standards, so it can meet the standards of a children's literacy focused library, and that is the library department's goal.
Very nice. I love it. I'm very happy to hear that we're bringing libraries back. I think it's so much needed, and even more so now. So thank you for that. And I know that it's a children's literacy, but again, it's reading, library, literature, all of that. And in the area that very much needs it. So thank you. Last question, because I'm very familiar with that area. It's on Washington, and what's the cross street?
I believe that's Van Ness. Arlington.
Okay.
It's at
Arlington.
Yeah,
Okay,
Arlington
nice.
and 18th, really.
18th and Arlington.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice area, and very nice and needed there as well. So good. Thank you. Okay, well, I don't have any other questions. Colleagues, any questions, comments, concerns, objections? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion on the table for item number 2 to move forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis. I'm sorry, completely wrong. There's a first by Dr. Davis and a second by VP Villegas to move item number 2 forward and forthwith.
We'll start the voting tabulation on item number 2. We'll start with you, Madam President.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Haji and Mr. Stephen Fierce for this report. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
All right, colleagues, moving on to item number 3. This is a request in Council Districts 5, 10, and 13 for street closures, Metro West Side Purple Line Extension Project Sections 1, 2, 3 for the 2022 holiday season. And this morning we have Mr. Tran here. Mr. Tran, are you the sole person coming on this item?
I do. I am gonna give you the step report, and also I have in the online, I have city staff, I have Metro staff, and also their contractors online to help me out too. So I'm not the only one. We'll be
Okay, good.
this work. We have a team here to do all
good.
this work.
This will take a team. I will read it into the record, and I really appreciate that you narrowed it down to 3 recommendations. Lengthy 3, but they're 3. So thank you for that. So recommending the board to 1, consider and approve or deny the holiday moratorium exemption request as detailed in the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority correspondence to allow construction work during the 2022 holiday season street closure restrictions, November 23rd to the 27th, December 2nd to the 4th, December 9th to the 11th, and December 16th through the 25th of 2022 in the vicinity of the following areas: Purple Line Extension Section 1, La Brea Station, Fairfax Station, Western Retrieval Shaft, and tunnel work along Wilshire Boulevard. PLE Section 2, Century City, Constellation Station, PLA Section 3, UCLA Station. Recommendation number 2, consider and approve or deny the peak hour exemption request as detailed in Metro's correspondence to allow construction work during peak traffic hours as needed, Monday through Friday, AM peak hours 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and PM peak hours 3:30 to 7 p.m. during the following periods: PLE Section 1, November 21st, 2022 to January 1st, 2023. PLE Section 2, November 23rd to January 3rd, 2023. PLE Section Number 3, November 23rd, 2022 to December 2022 of 2022. And 3, specify that the Metro Transit Division of the Bureau of Engineering located at 1149 South Broadway, the board located at 200 North Spring Street, and other relevant City of Los Angeles departments are custodians of the documents or other material which constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. All right, Mr. Tran, we are ready for you, but let me just double check on public comment. Dr. Campos, do we have any public comment on item number 3?
None that were pre-identified. Would you like me to double check?
No, I think we're okay. If nobody has pre-identified public comment on this, we can close public comment at this time. Thank you for that.
Speakers on this item.
We have 3 speakers.
I thought I wrote it down on my notes. Can Dr. Campos just double check?
Yes, on item number 3, we had no individuals that have identified. We had 3 for item number 1. However, let me just double check just to be safe.
Sorry for
Members,
inserting.
no worries. Members of the general public that would like to speak on item number 3, if you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9, or you can click the raise hand icon on the Zoom application. Again, this is for members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment on item number 3. If you can please raise your hand by pressing *9 or raise your hand through the electronic raise hand through the Zoom application. President Garcia and commissioners, I do not see any hands raised at this time, but thank you for asking me to double check.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you very much. I know we had public comment for 5 and 7 upcoming. Okay, thank you. So with no public comment, Mr. Tran, please.
Yes, good afternoon, President Garcia, commissioners and board members. I'm Curtis Tran from Bureau of Engineering, Metro Transit Division. The West Side Purple Line Tension Project extend the existing Purple Line, also known or called as a D-Line, subway from the existing terminus at the Wilshire Western Station to the west, approximately about 9 miles long along Wilshire Boulevard through the city of Beverly Hills, Century City to the VA hospital in Westwood. The project is being implemented by Metro in 3 separate project sections, which are all currently under construction. All 3 projects are seeking exemption from the 2022 holiday moratorium and peak hour, as detailed in the Metro request including in this board report. In accordance with the city procedure, council district concurrence should be provided in order to approve an exemption from the holiday moratorium as well as the peak hour. Council District 10 and 13 have provided their concurrent for the Purple Line Project Section 1. However, Metro Outreach Team has not been able to secure the support of Council District 5. Metro Project Team had met all other requirements of the holiday moratorium exemption as well as the peak hour exemption, with the exception of aforementioned concurrent from Council District 5. We are here to request that the board move to approve or deny Metro request for exemption for the 2022 holiday moratorium and peak hours for the following dates. On the Purple Line Section 1, from November 21, 2022 to January 1, 2023. For the Purple Line Section 2, November 23, 2022 to January 3, 2023. For the Section 3, November 23, 2022 to December 22, 2022. All 3 projects are currently in construction, and Metro state that denying their request will incur a significant impact to the project's cost and schedule. And approval for an exemption from the holiday moratorium and peak hour exemption would allow each team to continue working on the tunnel support, various utility relocation, underground station excavation and construction. Metro Construction Relation Team is updating project stakeholder of the construction work, treating the holiday moratorium and treating the peak traffic hour as well. subject, of course, to your board approval through community meetings, email, phone call, and various social media outlets. That's conclude my report. I have staff from BOE, DOT, Metro, and also each project contractor online right now to answer any question you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tran, for that report. Colleagues, any questions on this item? Any comments? Any concerns? Any objections? Going at it, Mr. Corson, Commissioner Corson.
Just a comment. Thank you, Curtis, for bringing this to us before the date that it goes into effect. In my time, at least, we get these, and I know it's due to some paperwork from Metro that we usually get these on the day it's supposed to be implemented. I appreciate you and your team just rushing to get it to us before the date of implementation.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Go ahead.
No, I was going to add work on the subway project. It's a mega it's a huge work. That's why this project split into three sections. 3 different projects, and the work is very aggressive and it's heavy duty work. It's not just. I mean, each underground station you're digging down 100 feet deep. 1,000 feet long and 100 feet wide. That takes time, and in fact, we are community. We got to be sensitive to them as well. So it's a heavy duty mega construction project going on, and it's just, I would say it's pretty crazy work. And I know everybody on the project, as well the contractor, the Metro team in the city, we'll try our best and try to get this work done as fast as we can. So hopefully, we'll get support from the board, and so we can move forward with it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Tran, for that. Agreed, Commissioner Corson, with what you said. Prior to your time, we've had multiple discussions with Metro about making sure that they don't come the day of. This is progress, so thank you very much for that. It's 2 days before of a weekend, so thank you for that. But we do really want them prior to the actual day of, and so I know Curtis and your team works really hard to make that happen. But and there's times that it just gets a little too cumbersome to make that happen. But I do appreciate that it came not the day of, so thank you for that. All right, any other Commissioner Reyes?
Just for assurance that if there are complaints by the businesses, that we do have the mechanisms to mitigate that, specifically because those are like busy times for them as well, and there may be impediments that could happen. So I just want assurance that there are mechanisms that we have in place.
Yeah, I'm gonna yield this to Miss Suda. She's online right now. She's a community outreach. She been doing a lot of communication, visiting and meeting with all the stakeholders. Go ahead, Casey. I'll let you take it over.
Hi, good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you for having me. Casey Shuda, Director of Construction Relations for Metro's construction projects, so construction relations and mitigation. In terms of the Purple Line, we have a 24-hour hotline. We have signs all over the alignment with that hotline, so it goes to a live person every time you call, no matter the time of day. We also have our community relations staff with direct lines to supervisors for each of the work areas so that we can relay complaints immediately and make immediate changes. We have our contractor here today. I don't think we need to get into talking to all their details, but they are aware of the sensitivities of this time period. Metro has been seeking holiday moratoriums for the Purple Line since 2015. And we know every year we go out to the community and do our outreach and ask them for one more year of this work activities during the holiday period, and we put in place a lot of great mitigations to make sure that businesses can remain open, that people can get there via the sidewalks, that we have parking programs in place to make sure access is available for all businesses. And then we will be available in case anything comes up to make immediate changes.
Thank you. That's what I want to hear for our community. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, for that. I also want to say that I had a very long briefing with Curtis and team regarding time and businesses. I took a look at the businesses that we will be affecting, and my complete recommendation continues to be that if we do not need to close at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, please let's not. I know that Tran has given me the comfort knowing that you guys are taking a very good look at when it's needed and when it's not. And 3:30 seems to be a very early time to close the street, especially on a Friday on holiday weekends. So I continue to enforce that. If it's not needed, don't close it. If it's needed, of course, we're giving you now the after today, after we go through the motion, the approval of doing it, but we really appreciate if we can, if we can reduce the time, especially on Fridays. But we saw, Commissioner Reyes, for your comfort, we were able to kind of take an analysis of the businesses that get affected. And to Casey's point, they're all very aware, and there's a lot of mitigation ways to come into those businesses. And some of these businesses are businesses that will normally close anyway at that time, so they wouldn't be affected for the holiday, or for most of them, not all of them though, most of them will not be affected by the holiday, or are not businesses that are geared to holiday sales, in other words. So I just want to say that we went through like a very thorough exercise around that. So I just thank you, Metro, for being here, for always being a good partner to us.
I'm
We
going through the
appreciate
weekend.
that. And likewise,
Yeah.
I think Ted
Hard
Jordan,
part is like, hang on a second.
can you please be on mute? Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure that we are all working together with this, and so please continue to reach out to us for anything that we need, and vice versa. All right, colleagues, any other questions, objections, or concerns regarding this item? Hearing none, is there a motion to move item number 3 forward and forthwith?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. I'll second that. So Dr. Campos, there's a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by me to move item number 3 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, Commissioner.
Yes, you too, sir, and to all the Metro team and the developer, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, moving on to item number 4. This is a request from the Bureau of Sanitation in all council districts. Amendment number 1, task order solicitation SN08 to Tetra Tech Inc. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the Director of Bureau of Sanitation or designee to issue amendment number 1, task order SN-08 to Tetra Tech Inc., extending the term of engagement from August 31st to July 22nd, 2024. And this, who do we have here today? Miller, is that you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good morning, welcome.
All right, good morning, or I guess good afternoon now. Thank you, President Garcia, members of the board. My name is Miller Zoe. I'm an acting environmental supervisor in the Watershed Protection Division for sanitation. And my group in particular is focused on water quality monitoring and regulatory compliance in regards to surface water and stormwater runoff. So I'm here today to present about the amendment for TOS SN-108. We're requesting an amendment for time extension only, so no additional funds are needed. The TOS just expired recently on August 31st. So there has been a temporary lapse in coverage. I did attempt to try to get ahead of that by starting on the board report, sometime in March, but unfortunately it just took a little bit longer than anticipated. So there's been a temporary lapse, but nothing too major in terms of operations. So just a quick background on the TOS, the contract itself. It contains a few different tasks and scopes for data management analysis tools, but really the core, the heart of the project is to develop and implement a brand new water quality database to replace our current system, which is a little bit outdated. And that purpose is kind of twofold, or has a few purposes. First of all, we have a new municipal stormwater permit for LA County, which came into effect this past September, or 2 Septembers ago, and has some new reporting requirements in terms of how we report our monitoring data that our current database isn't really set up for. So that'll help us with that. But also, mostly, it'll just kind of get us up to speed with modern times and streamline our operations. It has some cool features such as it can auto-generate sampling plans and chains of custody. And it can also, it also has a mobile field application that we can put on our phones and field tablets, so that when we go out in the field, we can collect field observations, water quality measurements, as well as photos, and they will automatically sync up to the database, which will avoid us having to, track down paper field logs and things like that, kind of just make things go more smoothly. And we're about halfway through the budget, the $700,000 budget, pretty much exactly halfway. The progress has been pretty good. I would say we've done a good job of maintaining that budget. In terms of issues, we had some minor staffing issues from both our side and the consultant side from COVID, and then we also had a slight delay in terms of navigating the firewall and cybersecurity infrastructure from our media center offices, because we found out that network is on the same network as all of our wastewater treatment plants. So, it's pretty robust security network. But luckily, with the help of our ICSD division, we were able to navigate that. So right now, essentially, we've gotten all of the we have it developed, we have it installed on our computers, and we need the remaining time to use the rest of the funds to do some robust testing, field runs before we can fully migrate and switch over to this new system. And then we can also, and then with the remaining funds, we've also just thinking about, some more advanced features such as, like a virtual data dashboard that can display monitoring data kind of on a geographic map using GIS layers, as well as potentially automating our compliance checking in terms of water quality exceedances and their objectives. So we've had a couple of slight operational bumps, but kind of from the beginning of the project, we always kind of anticipated this to be like a kind of a longer multi-year project given the scope. And unfortunately, when we first setting up the initial contract, CCU contracts unit informed us that we couldn't extend past August 31st of this year, and we couldn't do a 1 year, 2 year extension either, just because I think of the way the on-call parent contract was set up. So now we're just requesting really just to use the remaining funds and have a little more time to go through the end of the existing on-call contract, which will give us about, I think, another 2 years to use up the funds and finish out the project.
Great, thank you for that. Any questions on this item, colleagues? Any concerns? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to move item number 4 forward and forthwith?
So move. I'll second.
I'll take Commissioner Reyes first and a second by VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Commissioner Reyes and a second by VP Villegas to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulation now at this time. We'll go ahead and start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Su, for being here this afternoon now. Have a good rest of the day and a good weekend.
Thank you very much for your time. You guys as well.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 5. I do know we have a public comment on this one. I'll read it into the record and then Dr. Campos will take public comment. Is that okay? This is a request from the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Street Services in Council District 14, street closures, 7th Street Streetscape Improvements Project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize a temporary full closure of 7th Street from Maple Avenue to Los Angeles Street starting November 24th and ending February 3rd, 2023 for the construction of the 7th Street Streetscapes Improvement Project. And Dr. Campos will take public comment now.
Absolutely. Dr. Tom Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. The Board of Public Works is considering item number 5, apologies, item number 5. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this item.
Thank you. It seems like item number 9, but anyway. Dr. Tom Williams, Citizens Coalition for a Safe Community, and this is street improvement, curb improvement, no sidewalk improvement, but I have done some surveys along 7th Street, and I hope that there is a requirement for ADA compliance for all curb ramps along this project. And I hope it is included, but can I get a copy of the contract so that I can check it to make sure that ADA compliance will be made? Because there are several ramps right now that they're 1/4 to a 1/2 inch high. Some of them are worse, and there's some issues regarding the proximity of fences and buildings to the ramp. And there are some conflicts of the ramp versus light poles, power poles, and electrical cabinets along the street. So I'd like to see a copy of the contract. If the general manager can send me the email, I can read it online. That's all. But make sure the finished product is ADA compliance. Don't let it be like Broadway, where the mid-street or mid-block crossings have curbs, no ramps. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, President Garcia. That does clear the queue for item number 5 for public comments.
Great, thank you very much. Public comment for item number 5 is now officially closed. So moving on to our presenter, Ms. Winnie Lam. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm Winnie Lam with the Bureau of Engineering Street Improvement Division. I am the project manager for this project. To provide you with the background, this is a $12 billion multimodal transportation project. It will add pedestrian and bicycle safety improvement on 7th Street. And yes, I want to respond that we do have 44 double unidirectional curb ramp, brand new. That's 88 curb ramps in total, and then 6 single directional. So yes, we are taking care of the ADA path on the corners. The first phase of this project is from San Pedro Street to Figueroa Street. The scope of work includes 13 blocks of protected bike lane with raised concrete curb, 13 bus islands, 65 pedestrian lights, and 46 new trees. The construction starts at San Pedro Street and continue westward. As of today, it is 20% completed. In order to safely perform construction work along 7th Street, a temporary street closure is recommended. It is to mitigate impact from the following. Los Angeles Department of Water and Power to repair the underground vault in the roadway and to relocate water line. Bureau of Street Lighting will be installing street light poles for the pedestrian lights, and we will be planting trees per the Bureau of Street Services urban forestry requirements. Secondly, the street closure would decrease the overall duration of construction and thereby reducing community impact. For the peak hour exemption, the Bureau of Street Services has no objection to the request of the closure. Contract work may take place during peak hours during this proposed closure limits. A 2022 holiday season street closure restriction waiver has been granted by the Bureau of Engineering, BOE, and Council District 14 for the project. The road closure is supported by Office of Council Member Kevin De Leon. The Council Office would like the contractor to work effectively without demobilizing, and we do set up every day. And we have received concurrence from the local police stations and fire station on this closure. As for public outreach, our first construction impact virtual meeting was held in March 2021. Actually, March 2022, earlier this year. The last field walk was in June to share with the business along 7th Street the construction schedule. And our last meeting email with the Downtown Center Business Impact District was October 14, 2022 to update them on our construction schedule. Our contractor will be sending out flyers 7 to 10 days before the next closure, and the street sign on the street will be updated on the roadway. BOE will send out a e-blast providing updates and possible construction detours. And also the website and our e-blast will have a call-in number for the public if they have any questions. So today, we request the board to authorize a temporary full closure of 7th Street from Maple Street to Los Angeles Street, just 1 block, so that we can construct the safety improvement quickly and decrease the amount of disturbance to the community. This concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lam, for your report. Any questions, colleagues? Comments, objections? Winnie, have you guys developed a detour plan for any buses that would normally go through that street?
Yes, we are in contact with Metro Bus. So they always know when our road closure is flipping from 2 block to 1 block. So yes, our CM is very much in contact with them.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that Metro notifies the community about the closure, the change, the detour, all of that, so that folks are not waiting for a bus that's not going to get there. And my second question is, have business been notified, and have we developed some kind of plan not to impact the businesses?
Yes, that's a great question. I've been emailing the business on the Maple Los Angeles block. The 2 driveway that is on that block will remain open, and 2 lanes will be available for them to exit and enter, and they will be exiting to the east on the Maple Avenue. So yes, they're definitely doing constant communication update on when we're going to implement.
Okay, great. I really want to make sure that if they're not replying, we'll make sure that we have somebody to physically visit them. I want to make sure that they're aware that their street is going to be closed for merely almost 2 months?
Yes, until February 3rd. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we want to make sure that that those businesses are fully aware of what's going to happen in the next 2 months. Okay, and if anything, let's also emulate some of the things that we do with Metro, with making sure that they have access, especially during the holiday time, and that we're not impacting so much their sales. Very important.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, colleagues. I already went around. No questions, no comments, no objections. Is there a motion on the table to move item number 5 forward and forthwith? I'll move. Okay. Oh, yay. I'll move. I'll take a second by Dr. Davis and another second by VP Villegas. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis and Vice President Villegas to move item number 5 forward and forthwith.
We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Lam, for your time this afternoon, and have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Colleagues, moving on to item number 6. We do not have a presenter. This is our monthly reading into the record. Finding to continue teleconference meetings pursuant to Assembly Bill AB 361, recommending the board to 1, adopt the finding and determination in accordance with AB 361, Section 3E3, that while the state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as originally proclaimed by the governor on March 4th, 2020, remains active, and/or state or local officials have imposed or recommended measures to promote social distancing. This legislative body has reconsidered the circumstances of the state of emergency, and at the state of emergency continues to directly impact the ability of members to meet safely in person, and/or state or local officials continue to impose or recommend measures to promote social distancing. Colleagues, are there any objections, concerns? If not, is there a second to my motion to move item number 6 forward and forthwith?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 6 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzine.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Dr. Campos. Moving on to item number 7, I do know we have a speaker on that, so I will just read it into the record, and before the report starts, we'll take public comment. Item number 7, the Office of Community Beautification update from the Office of Community Beautification. We are now in our oral report section, and we'll take public comment now.
Absolutely. We have one caller on the line under item number 7. Dr. Williams, if you can please unmute your microphone, you'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 7. Please go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Tom Williams, previously with LA 32 Neighborhood Council and in El Sereno. And I just want to commend Paul and Community Beautification for the excellent work that they provided us at the El Sereno Recreation Center for spreading mulch. Paul gave us the equipment, we did the labor. Thank you. That's all. Oh, bye-bye.
Thank you. Dr. Campos, is that the end of public comment for item number 7?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Public comments now officially closed. Good morning, good afternoon, Paul. Good to see you and welcome.
Good afternoon. Yes, Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. Thank you to Dr. Williams for that comment. That's kind of one of our main things is we'll provide the materials and the tools when there are residents of the city out there who want to do the hard labor. And, you know, I know that Dr. Williams and his group have done several different projects, as have community groups and volunteers throughout the city of Los Angeles. So it's always good to hear those words. So again, I'm here to provide just a brief update on some of the activities of OCB over the past few months. First, to start out, I want to highlight that we've recently gone through our second round of Beautify LA grant program. We received 31 community applications for beautification projects throughout the city of Los Angeles. And of those 31, 20 of those projects were invited to submit a more detailed application through the second round of funding. Of those 20, there were actually 12 that did submit their applications to receive grant awards. We had a group of our advisory board panels from Keep Los Angeles Beautiful, as well as some various city employees who went through those different applications, and we'll be bringing the final recommendation to the Board of Public Works for approval, probably not next week because it's a short week, but probably the following week. But we do appreciate your support on that. We are looking forward to a number of more projects getting kicked off and helping to do some small scale beautification projects in the city of Los Angeles. Sticking with grant type of projects, OCB did recently submit a grant application through the state of California Whale Tail grant. I think that's the grant that's funded by those whale license plates. They are kind of marine focused projects. So we did submit an application to conduct some more intensive than usual beach type of cleanups and inland cleanups in areas where if the debris is not cleaned up, it will eventually end up at the beach. So we did submit an application for that and are hopeful it will be accepted by the state. We should find out sometime in the new year, I believe late January, early February. But hopefully we'll receive that and have a series of beach themed cleanups and events coming up next year. Some of the other activities we've been involved with recently, of course, probably as everyone is aware, since the 6th Street Bridge has opened up, it was an issue with vandalism and graffiti. OCB crews have been out every single day since the bridge was opened in July, removing graffiti and helping keep the bridge clean. The numbers have gone down significantly from that first month or so, but we are still finding that on average, where the bridge is tagged in about 10 to 15 different spots, fairly small tags, every once in a while on some of those arches and stuff. So our crews are out there every day, starting at about 5:30 in the morning to kind of beat the traffic and get a lot of the stuff off before people even know that it was tagged. OCB crews are going to start being responsible for the area under the bridge as well for the next couple of months. The current contractor is finishing up their work, and there's going to be about a 2 or 3 month sort of lag, I guess, between the different contractors. Eventually, there's going to be a new contractor coming in, and they're going to be building a park under there. But in the meantime, while those 2 different contractors are in between breaks, OCB crews will be maintaining the area underneath the bridge as well. Recently, OCB has been serving on the replatforming steering committee for MyLA 311. The city and ITA are looking at revamping the current system and helping to improve it. They recently did release an RFP to different vendors, and OCB will be part of the RFP evaluation team that's being led by ITA on the MyLA 311 system. Of course, OCB is one of the largest users. Typically, graffiti removal is one of the top 2 requests for service that come into the city, and our contractors utilize the MyLA 311 system, not only to keep track of the requests, but also the proactive work that they do as well. Within the last couple of weeks, OCB did release our own RFQ, request for qualifications for various OCB services, pretty much everything other than graffiti removal. So public right-of-way cleanup type of services, litter and weed abatement, tree maintenance, tree planting, and various other community beautification services are sometimes funded by the different city council offices as well. Last week, we conducted a pre-bidders conference. We had, I think, 36 attendees at that conference where we answered just general questions and provided a little more detailed information. The responses to that RFQ were due in the middle of December the 16th. So we do look forward to receiving those and going over all the different responses and bringing our recommendations to the Board of Public Works for final approval. And next year, then having, some additional contractors, beyond the ones that we do currently, but also still most likely, all our current contractors are also going to submit proposals for that RFQ as well. Recent cleanup events that volunteers have participated in throughout the city have been in the communities of Glassell Park, Westwood, Lakeview Terrace, Thailand, Hollywood, Sun Valley, Playa del Rey, South LA, Boyle Heights, Mid-City, and Sunland. So we are seeing a increase in volunteers wanting to come out and help clean up their neighborhoods. And OCB is looking forward to getting our tools and supplies and everything out of our warehouse that we maintain down on 7th Street out into the hands of volunteers. Typically, once we hit the holidays, it'll probably be slow till after New Year's. And then again, it does pick up quite significantly as we get into February, March, and April, and spring cleanup and Earth Day and all those types of events. And then finally, just to highlight some of the work of our contractors, in terms of graffiti abatement for the first 1/3 of the current year, so July through the end of October, OCB contractors removed a total of 9.9 million square feet of graffiti from about 240,000 locations throughout the city of Los Angeles. And then in terms of our public right-of-way cleanup, and again, thank you for recognizing the Clean LA participants earlier this morning. Clean LA is one of the public right-of-way cleanup programs. There's also Clean Streets LA, and then some of the different ones that are funded by city council offices utilizing discretionary funds. In total, all of those different public right-of-way cleanup services cleaned 16,988 locations around the city of Los Angeles. This is for the period of July through the end of October, so about 1/3 of the current year. They collected 71,648 trash bags, and those bags of debris and litter and weeds were then picked up and properly disposed of. They also collected 36,888 illegally discarded large items from along the public way. And in total, it accounted for 877 tons of debris that was picked up by OCB contractors and taken off the public right of way and properly disposed of. So that does conclude my report. As always, thank you to the board for your continued support of our programs. And always thank you to all of our volunteers and community-based organizations that are the ones out there doing so much work.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your report. I'm excited to hear all the milestones you have reached and everything you're currently doing. And it's always really nice to hear when you give us that like broader look at what you're doing, and like even the community cleanups that it's everywhere. I mean, you called the neighborhoods from all over the city. So I just want to say thank you to your team for working very hard all the time on making sure that our volunteers get what they need when they're requested. Any questions for Paul? Any concerns, comments? Hearing none, Paul. Well, thank you. We look forward to that RFQ closing December, and we also look forward to the 12 beautification projects that are going to be upcoming?
Well, there were 12 that submitted. I think we're probably going to be bringing about 7 or 8 of them forward to the board for final approval.
Okay, so colleagues, remember these are grant money that KLEB had that we gave out to communities. And so thus far, last time we had 16 projects, right? Revitalization projects all throughout the city. Now there's going to be about 6, 7, so that adds up. And what we're doing is just we provide a short amount of money, $2,500, and the community really does take on and they'll take ownership and revitalize a certain part of their area. So some have been really nice. Some have been able to update their murals. Some have been able to update some plaques. I mean, it's just very much needed out there, and we're excited to be able to be a conduit to that. So thank you, Paul, for you and your staff for working very hard. I know that you guys all have taken this on, and so thank you again. All right, Paul. Well, thank you for your time, and have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy weekend to everybody.
All right.
All right, moving on to item number 8. This is an oral report as well. Status update on major upcoming street improvement projects by the Bureau of Street Services. And who do we have here this afternoon?
We have Sal Almeida.
Mr. Almeida, where is he?
Sal, if you can just open up your video cam, I can spotlight you for everyone. Oh, I think we...
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you're right. Good after, you started in the morning.
Yes, we sure did. Good afternoon, President Garcia, commissioners, excuse me, Bureau representatives, and Dr. Campos. My name is Saul Almeida. I'm with the Bureau of Street Services. I'm a superintendent, and I'd like to present my report to you today. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays to the commuters. Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. Excuse me. There are no major street projects scheduled in the Metro resurfacing region during the week of November 20th, 2022 through November 26th, 2022. The following major street project is scheduled in the Valley resurfacing region during the week of November 20th through November 26th, 2022. Saturday, November 5th through Sunday, November 20th, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will be coal milling and paving Temescal Canyon from Sunset to Pacific Coast Highway in CD 11, the Bel Air Beverly Crest Neighborhood Community Council, under the Pavement Preservation Program Fund. Additionally, we will provide an update on our 22-23 Pavement Preservation Program. During the week of November 20th through November 26, 2022, the Metro region will complete 2 projects for a total of 1.05 lane miles. During the week of November 20th through November 26, 2022, the Valley region will complete 7 projects for a total of 9.70 lane miles. The press release the press releases were broadcasted and notifications have been issued. Streets LA coordinated with council district offices to assist the outreach to stakeholders, and we have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. The information is also available on Streets LA website, www.streetsla.lacity.org. For any additional information or concerns, you can contact Sherrard Nichols at 213-847-3200. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Almeida, for your report. We appreciate it. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Almeida. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
Weekend. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, colleagues, it looks like this is the end of our meeting. Dr. Campos, have we cleared today's desk?
Yes, you have.
Great. Colleagues, it is now, oh God, what time is it? It is 12:52. Let's take a 10-minute break and then come back for a management meeting at 1 p.m. Okay. Other than that, if there aren't any more comments or concerns, we officially close today's meeting. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.